anyone else down in Las Vegas who is opposed to Assembly Bill 448, who did not get the opportunity to voice their concerns last time. If you'd please come forward to the table, please state your name and spell your name and proceed with your testimony. We are limited by time, so I would appreciate it if every witness would try to speak no more than 10 minutes as a courtesy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. My name is Don Schaefer, and that's S-C-H-A-E-F-E-R. I am here on my own behalf. I live in Sun City, Aliante, which is in North Las Vegas. It's a community of 2,028 homes, and I am currently on the board. I am opposed to AB 148 for a number of reasons. I think that we need to seriously consider either rewriting this bill or simply leaving it in assembly. A number of things, if I start out on page 28, section 5 there, lines 20 to 23. I think that allowing homeowners to put anything on the agenda, you will end up with an agenda and a board meeting that would take 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. I think it's really not the homeowner's job to put things on the agenda. I think it is the board's duty to do so. I have certainly no objection to the homeowners asking a board member to put something on, certainly writing a letter which would move to get something on the board agenda. But I think the agenda should be the board's to do. On that same page, lines 31 and 32, where it says a guest of the unit's owner must be allowed to attend any meeting of the unit's owners as long as it is a meeting of the unit's owner and not a board meeting. I would have no objection to it. I actually only got a couple pages out of order here, but on page 11, if I could go back, page 11, and look at lines 33 and 35. Unit owner may attend the meeting in person or by proxy. I thought 2 years ago we went through this issue of proxies, and it was agreed by the legislative people that we would not do this, and now we're somehow trying to put this back into the bill, and I think, again, that term proxy should be taken out.
Excuse me, Mr. Schaefer. Pardon me, Mr. Schaefer. Your concern with proxies, could you elaborate about your concern with the proxies?
Again, is it really the attention of the homeowners? We have a lot of snowbirds who are not around many times, and they don't know all the issues. They don't really have the ability to listen to the testimony pro and con of anything. And very often we find that certain people get a petition going around and get people to sign a proxy, and they really have no idea what they're signing.
Okay, thank you very much. Please proceed.
Okay. On page 14, section 6, lines 42 to 42 to 45. Where we have a $2,500 maximum lifetime fine. I personally don't like fines, and I would like to see them done away with completely, but the reality is sometimes you have to come down with a little bit of a monetary reprisal in order to get somebody to agree to follow the CC&Rs. We have found in our association, we had a gentleman who wanted to build a fortress around his house. The board, after a hearing, fined him $100 and told him until the fortress came down, it would be $100 every week until he removed it. He took in every month, came in with a $500 check, and left his fortress up. Unfortunately, it sort of took care of itself when he and his wife separated, and the wife took down the fortress. I would go on, if I can, to page 19. Section 8, lines 28 through 45, if I could. Again, this is dealing with fines, and I don't see how we can really regulate how much a collection company can charge for a fine, just simply saying if the fine should not exceed $40 if the balance is less than $200. This, I think, is a very dangerous position. It allows homeowners to completely ignore things. We would very much like to see the collection companies not have to do these things, but we can't afford to sit around and not collect assessments or dues and any other things of this sort. On page 29, section 12, was discussed, and that's lines 38 to 41. Meetings of the executive board must be held at least once every quarter and not less than once every 100 days, and must be held at a time other than during the standard business hours, but not before 6 p.m. at least twice annually. While I have no objection to that, down here in Las Vegas, we have board members who work all sorts of crazy shifts.
Excuse me, Mr. Schaefer, I'm sorry to interrupt you. And there is a 10-second delay between Las Vegas and here. Could you remind me, you're on page 29, what line you're on?
I am looking at line 38 to 41.
38 to 41, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, specifically, go ahead. Sorry.
I just do want to remind you we're trying to stay under 10 minutes so everybody gets a chance to talk.
Sure.
Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm going as quickly as I can through this. I've got a couple of more that I want to talk on.
Thank you.
The requirement for us to hold a meeting not before 6 p.m. in the evening. We hold evening meetings. If you want to put something like this in, I would also suggest saying we can have a meeting on a Saturday. Maybe that would solve some of the problems. One of the major ones that I would like to talk a little bit about, and I've got to find it in my note here, is on page 24, line 40, beginning at line 40, which talks about within 3 months after his or her election, starting there, that an executive board member shall successfully complete 2 hours of education. I find this rather ridiculous. Number one, I'm asked as a board member to sign that I have read NRS 116 to the best of my ability and understanding it. I sign a document that I have done so. I attend a class, and I have attended it for the last 3 years, called the ABCs of NRS 116, and that is an 8-hour class. I don't know what kind of 2-hour class you're going to get anything across. I am also a member of CAI, and my entire board, comprising of 7 people, are 100% decal certified. We have taken over 26 hours of classes to get this certification. We also encourage our homeowners to do this, and the board pays for the homeowners to take these classes. I think we're short-sighting by saying you want only 2 hours every year for a board member. Mr. Chairman, I will allow, because most of the other things have been already talked about, I will turn my time over. Have any questions?
Are there any questions from the committee for Mr. Schaefer? No, thank you very much, Mr. Schaefer. And if I could remind you, this is such a voluminous bill. If you have time, if you could also submit your comments to us in writing, maybe email them to the committee.
Yes, I will.
That would be much appreciated. And I don't know if there's a sign-in sheet down there in Las Vegas. We don't seem to be getting a copy of the sign-in sheet. So if any folks from the Legislative Council Bureau down there in Las Vegas are hearing this, we don't see it.
He's doing it right now.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you very much. Sir, would you state your name and proceed